Hey everybody, what's going on? Helmite here, bringing you another shoutcast practice video today. Today I'm going to be spectating a friend of mine, Elevator Dunk. He is playing the Maokai up in the top lane. And also today I have my good buddy GlovesGuy here, co-casting with me. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hey guys, it's GlovesGuy here, ready to get into this cast.
Yeah, so we got 2 minutes to go ahead and break down Champ Select, so it were. Over on the blue side, we've got Maokai up in the top lane, Warwick in the jungle, Zoe in the mid lane, and Xayah and Rakan as AD carry and support. Meanwhile, over on the red side, looks like we've got a Poppy up in the top lane, Shaco jungle, Ryze in the mid lane, Kai'Sa at AD carry, and Nautilus, her support.
Yeah, and the first thing that stands out to me when I look at these two teams is the triple ignites on the side of red team here. Definitely a very aggressive, very early decision on their part.
Yeah, I think it does make sense. You do have the engaged support in the bottom lane, and definitely the Shaco can obviously get away with taking Ignite. Doesn't really need the flash as much as other champions do. The Ryze is interesting, electing to go for the Ignite for potential kill threat on the Zoe, but I don't know that Ryze is that good in the early game.
Well, Ryze doesn't have that strong of a presence in the early game, and the advantage Zoe has is that she has a very long range when she chooses to use it, and that just makes it very difficult for a short-range mage like Ryze to really get a lot of damage across. So I don't know about that one. I'm liking the Ignite on Zoe a lot more than I'm liking the Ignite on Ryze here.
Yeah, so will be interesting to see how that all breaks down. It could be Ryze is running Unsealed Spellbook. He could have Spellbook, be able to swap to the teleport after the first back, maybe goes for an early all-in. Does have Shaco in the jungle as well, so if he gets the early level 2 gank, maybe something happens there.
Yeah, that's not a bad analysis there. The Shaco, the advantage of Shaco is you do get that level 2 cheese that can easily tilt a lane in another person's favor, which probably the best place to use that I would say would be in the bottom lane, get the Kai'Sa rolling, and maybe offset the advantage that Xayah and Rakan are going to have just with their amazing synergy when they're played together.
Yeah, certainly going to be really scary to see the Xayah and Rakan. I think the Kai'Sa is going to have the scaling in the late game, but Nautilus not quite as effective at support position. Haven't seen him there quite as much as we have before, and obviously Xayah and Rakan just straight up win the level 1. You take your Xayah W at level 1, you take your Rakan W at level 1, and you just kind of win right off the bat. So going to be really difficult for red team to actually have their bottom lane scale up, but I do think that they are going to have quite a bit of appeal, and definitely are going to have a very strong AD carry for the late game, very self-sufficient AD carry for the late game.
Yeah, the late game is very powerful on the side of red team with the Shaco flanks and the Nautilus engage, stuff like that. But what I like about blue team is that, one, I love the Xayah pick. I just think it's a great pick because her ultimate is so useful in just any situation where she can pull that out and make plays happen. And the other advantage that blue team has is that their late game isn't really terrible either. They've got Zoe, who's going to hit like a truck. They've got Maokai, who's going to be unkillable. And while Kai'Sa is, of course, going to outscale Xayah, I don't think the difference is going to be so significant that it's going to, just bulldoze over Xayah.
Yeah, no, very true. I'm definitely going to be looking to see the Shaco get the let out for his team. The Ryze obviously needs time to scale. The Kai'Sa needs time to scale. And it will be a lot of weight is actually going to be placed on this Shaco's shoulders to make sure he gets something done in the early game. Make sure that he can get the team to start scaling up.
That's the tricky part of playing Shaco, for sure, is that you put everything on that early game to make something happen, because if you don't, the mid games is not going to go too well for you.
Yeah. Now, and the biggest thing here is I really do like the Poppy pick for red team because it does stop the Rakan engage. And a lot of people don't really talk about that. Obviously, the Rakambo being a very strong initiation tool, but having the Poppy stand straight on top of the Kai'Sa and the Ryze, and as long as you can press W when you see the quickness come out, that immediately gets blocked. Now, you can't do anything about the Warwick ultimate, but you do have a reasonable amount of peel.
That won't block the Warwick ultimate?
No, Warwick ultimate is unstoppable.
Gotcha.
Can't block it.
Gotcha.
But we are going to be in game here, opening up onto Summoner's Rift. Blue team going for the early in level 1 invasion here. All 5 members going to be walking into the Death Brush here, but no one face checking, standing on the wrong side of the map. They actually don't have any vision over on this side. Shaco a little bit late getting to lane, so they might have something to be able to set up here.
Yeah, kind of deep here. They're coming in for
the ward is going to go down. W is going to miss. Tysus is taking the brunt of the damage. Does have that bone plating, taking up some of the damage. Will skill the Q to try and dash away. One ignite was down. A flash away as well. And it looks like he will be able to walk out of this. Blue team able to pick up the early flash.
Yeah, pick up the early flash. I believe Ignite was burned from Rakan on that play, but the Ignite cooldown is going to come off much sooner than the flash will, and the flash is a far more important cooldown to have. So blue team does make out with the advantage there, and any advantage they can get in this early game is just going to make it that much harder for red team to make it to late.
Yeah, so very, very important summoner spell blown. That Nautilus is now going to be a very risky pick in the bottom lane, not going to have that many ways out of a fight, and the Warwick may actually decide to go for the early gank here. But so there will be no kills picked up here and move to standard laning.
Yeah, and we'll see the amount of harass that's going to come out in that lane on that Nautilus is going to be crazy, and he doesn't have flash or anything to deal with that. Now a bit of a trade going down here in the top lane looks like.
Yeah, just tanks, big old stupid tanks wailing away on each other. Nothing doing there. But I do think you're right. The Nautilus will be taking a lot of damage here. Obviously, Xayah being very short range does have to worry about the dredge line. Nautilus did skill that first, but especially with the Rakan, it's going to be very difficult. The dredge line will land. Aftershock is in, but a decent amount of damage traded back onto the support versus the AD carry. So very nicely played.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there by Super Yoshi getting caught like that, trying to get a little bit too much damage in there.
And it actually will be interesting to me to see the routes the junglers take. Looks like Warwick has opted for the 3 buffs and then attempt to go for the Scuttle Crab that they normally do. Shaco, meanwhile, has actually cleared the entirety of his bottom side. Will go onto the red, will have the level 3. So if he meets Warwick in the jungle, might be risky.
Yeah, the hard farm from Shaco was not... I expected him to go for that level 2, show up in a lane, try and get it rolling, but he's hard farming that jungle, trying to get all of his camps up before he moves in for a gank. We'll see which lane he decides to focus here. He is in the top side of the map, but with Zoe pushed in as much as she is.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage here, actually. Remember, Ryze does have that Ignite, trying to trade some damage back, but not going to quite happen. Now a hook under the tower. Kaminiot taking a lot of damage, and Super Yoshi trying to trade back, does not get the root from the Blade Collar. A very, very nice trade. Nautilus knowing his limits, knowing how much damage he can take, and landing those hooks.
Yeah, we were talking about how this bottom lane should have definitely been on the side.
Actually, Warwick in the mid lane here is actually going to go in. Flash gets the fear, but nothing else for it. So a flash burned for absolutely nothing. And now a hook onto Rakan is going to be forced to dash away. Ignite was down, but he should survive it. Summoner spells being traded across the map.
Yeah, a lot of conflict going down here in these early stages of the game, and most of it is being favored towards red side. They are doing pretty well, and surprisingly well in this bottom lane. Like I was saying before, a whole bunch of stuff happened, and this is an interesting position here.
Nautilus coming all the way around, but they do have reinforcements. The Gleam Quill not quite going to land. Flash force away from the Kaisa, but the hook is going to be in. A lot of damage now onto the Rakan. He will get the knock up. The heal comes through as well, and now Nautilus on the wrong side of the map still does not have Ignite available, trying to run away, but there's a lot of damage on Rakan. He does have to be careful. Gleaming Quill will be in, and there will be the kill picked up onto Super Yoshi. First blood for the Xayah.
There's the first blood, and no matter, they got bullied very hard, and it made red team a bit overconfident there. They positioned extremely aggressively, and when Warwick comes down for that gank, they managed to bait out the heal and secure the kill on that Nautilus. If he had flash there, he doesn't die. Yeah. It was that early play.
Gank in the mid lane here, trying to go onto the right. He does not have flash available. Redemption comes in, and I Cook Noobs will finish off that kill in the mid lane. Ryze going down. For sure. Now, I did say it wrong, actually, earlier. Ryze was the one who flashed in the previous play, not the Warwick. So, flashed, and then Warwick gank spot successfully, immediately goes back up. Actually, a flash on the elevator dunk, but manages to get out very safely. Oh, and again, trying to get the kill. Will be able to finish it off, but the Warwick is there to finish that off in return. Lord Skippy picking up another kill, 3-1 in the kill term.
Yeah, a bit of a Pyrrhic kill there for Poppy. I believe she could have pulled out there and not gotten killed by the Warwick. I think she had the health to retreat there, but just decided that she wanted that kill trade, which I believe you actually lose out on gold like that, because the enemy team, blue team, gets kill gold and assist gold for that, and you only get kill gold yourself. But that was the decision that they made. Might cause red team to drop a little further behind here.
Right. And the other important thing to note here is how much better ganking, actually, really long trade here. There might actually be something here. The Poppy damage really coming through. Maokai taking too much of a beating, is forced to back away. But Lord Skippy has ganked bot lane, and then went and ganked mid lane, and then went and ganked top lane, and got a kill in every single lane. And meanwhile, you look across the way, Deadshot has not ganked yet. He has not shown his face in a lane.
And speaking of not showing his face, it looks like he's coming towards the bottom lane right now, but might just be clearing out wards there.
Yeah,
he is
sweeper.
On a jungler like Shaco, you expect them to be, oh, this is a trade.
Oh, actually, trying to go in. The ultimate is down, but Poppy not able to quite get the kill in there.
Wasn't sure if that was going to be a full fight or what was going on.
Yeah, definitely there. Poppy exerting the advantage they have. Shaco is in. The double knockup will come through, though. Not quite have the cooldowns left to get out, but Warwick is in, trying to go for the fear. There it is. Another kill picked up. Deadshot goes down, and now F Nasty taking the breathing. He will trade out to the Rakan, but falls himself. Lord Skippy picking up yet another kill, and now the Sleepy Trouble Bubble will land on Nautilus in the bottom lane, but does have the dredge line to get himself back to tower safely. Another great play by Lord Skippy.
Yeah, and that was also a great play by Xayah there. Pulled out the double snare onto Nautilus and Shaco to help buy time for Warwick to show up to that fight. And what a tragedy for Deadshot there. He spends all this time farming. They get into this vision fight in that tri-brush, and he says, this is my time. I'm going to move in, and I'm going to get the kill. And the fed Warwick is right there to make sure that play can't happen.
As they say, unlucky, not able to get anything to go there. Does have his full Tiamat completed now, but he's still down a Tiamat and a Boots to the Warwick, and Warwick hasn't even shopped yet, so definitely falling behind, not doing so hot, but...
Yeah, it's just, on a champion like that, you have to be active early, and when you pick Shaco and you're not active early, well, speaking of being active early...
Shaco being active early does go into in the top lane. Actually going to try and flash on the rise. Missile Sleepy Trouble Bubble will pick it up in the end with the more Sparkles auto attack. Deadshot Ignite, though, will finish off the kill. Actually, both Ignites burned in the mid lane. Not able to quite get anything. And now Lord Skippy, Deadshot actually staying way too close to this. Poppy will be here, so potentially trying to make a play happen. Work, though, does get the fear. Still trying to trade back in, but taking way too much damage. Poppy is there, and one more dagger. Deadshot actually snipes that kill.
And that's a clear case of just overconfidence on the part of Lord Skippy. He thought, you know, I'm this big fed tanky Warwick, and it's like, yeah, you're a big fed tanky Warwick, but when you're taking damage from what's essentially 3 champions at once, that health's gonna drop pretty quick. And when you don't know if that Shaco is a clone or the real one, you just gotta back off. You can't just hope that the one you're attacking is the right one.
Yeah, now that was a roam down from the Poppy, so Elevator Dunk has had plenty of time in the top lane to shove the wave in, cost at least some of the XP away from his lane opponent, but is getting destroyed otherwise. Very far down in CS, has not managed to win any of the trades. So far, not so good.
Yeah, he's not in a great matchup here in the top lane in the first place. You can see he's been being pushed under his turret for most of the map. Being able to push out there does help him quite a bit, lets him alleviate the pressure a bit. But his time is really going to come later in the game when he scales up and can really start making those big team fight plays that are the reason you pick Maokai.
Yeah, so actually, it will be an attempted all-in here. Poppy trying to go all the way back in. Maokai does have some of the healing. Ultimate does come out, trying to get some more damage in, but Poppy, the passive, is ticking, trying to get a little bit more damage through. Underneath the tower, though, Elevator Dunk will be able to walk out with his life and almost no mana. But now Lord Skippy coming up. That actually tackle will be back in, and Poppy will finish off the kill. Trying to run away about a Warwick will chase her down with the Blood Hunt. Trying to get the slow in, but it should not be enough. He does have ultimate. Just in case he needs it, this should be an easy kill. But meanwhile, trade in the bottom lane. Kaisa trying to go in. Featherstorm will come out, and the Root will come in. A ton of damage onto the Kaisa. Poppy will finish off the execute. Meanwhile, on the backside, and now trying to run away. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble is in, but it will be flashed away from F Nasty. Now should be falling down. Does eventually die, and now Zoe is in. The knockup is there as well, and Nautilus will fall. 2 kills for nothing picked up for the blue team, but a kill traded back up in the top.
See, that's exactly what I was talking about when I was saying that I love Xayah's ultimate. On what ADC do you both avoid an incoming CC and snare both the enemy laners at the same time? And that was a great play and a great roam by Zoe to just get that extra damage in. Zoe showed up at exactly the right time to make sure that fight was a 2 for nothing.
Yeah, no, a very, very good roam, and there hasn't been a lot of effort out of the rise, but teleport actually comes in from the Poppy. Teleport burnt as well from Elevator Dunk. Shaco is trying to come in as well. Rise is on the way. Elevator Dunk trying to lock down the Poppy, but there isn't a lot of damage there. The fight is very split, but Poppy trying to run away under her tower. Passive is ticking, but Kaisa is here as well. Potentially nothing else to come through. Body blocking the Paddle Star. Now Elevator Dunk flashing, trying to go all the way in, but there's too much crowd control, and he can't finish off the kill. Poppy will be able to pick that up. Flash in the mastery, and now Rise is in, trying to finish this off as well. We'll be able to pick up the Rakan, and now trying to run down on the carries of blue team. Blue team trying to trade back as well as they can. Lord Skippy is in. The fear is down as well, but Shaco coming back in takes a lot of damage though out of the fog of war. They weren't able to see him, but they can still hit him with the paddle star. He will be finished off by the Zaya, but not before getting a kill himself. And now this should be the kill on Lord Skippy. Red buff will be enough to finish him off, and Super Yoshi, no mana, does have to walk away. Tysus trying to find the dredge line, might quite have it, but no. The minion wave is there, and Zaya will be able to walk out with her life. A very messy fight in the bottom lane, 2 for 2. 3 for 2.
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
A 3 for 4 fight, and it turns over to red team, and that was blue team being way more aggressive than they ever should have been in that fight. It started off with Maokai saying, "Oh, I can totally get this."
Well, actually, ultimate under tower. They're trying to go for it, but Rakan is in. Rakan is there with the heals and the shields, and the F Nasty will be knocked up under tower. A bit of an aggressive play for red team.
Yeah, well, red team said, "There's a low health Kai'Sa. We've got this full health tanky Nautilus. We can do this." And what they didn't, the hero Rakan shows up at exactly the right moment to turn that play around. Really.
Just great timing, but that's why you want to keep track of these sort of back timers. They should have known Rakan is coming back right now. We probably can't make this, even though she's all by herself, low health. Actually, Trey in the mid lane, I Kick Noob's taking a lot of damage. A flash in from the Rise, and he will have it. The burst damage out of Electrocute Rise. We didn't touch on that early, but Electrocute, and you're seeing the damage he can put down if Zoe ever gets in range.
Yeah, you've got to be. Zoe has the early advantage, but now we're getting to the point where Rise is starting to build items and really starting to get that damage down, and you just have to respect it when you're playing on Zoe that you can't get too close to this man because he will blow you up like he just did.
Yeah, so a lot of damage coming out of this Rise. Actually, a very aggressive build in tier, Lost Chapter, and goes for the Stark Seal, but this is actually going to be a counter gank in the mid lane. Sport is roamed up, and jungler. Easy peasy pickup for blue team.
Yeah, not a chance. You could actually see red team started to move up there and then ultimately decided to back off, realized they weren't going to get there in time. Gave Zaya a little bit more time to farm here. But really, really messy. This game has gotten really messy really quickly, and it's both teams just finding opportunities like this.
Hook actually is going to land. The ultimate will come out of both 80 carries, but it looks like he will survive. No root coming down, but Super Yoshi surviving. Rakan there just in the nick of time, once again, to save his 80 carries life.
Yeah, Super Yoshi having to burn that ultimate in a situation like that is bad, because you won't have it for, well, I thought there was going to be a fight there. You wouldn't have it for another fight if another fight breaks out.
Yeah, not quite, but Warwick is in. Both junglers are actually coming down, as well as the mid laner for blue team, but a lot of damage comes through. The plasma procs are in, but the Feather Storm will be able to take him out. Tysus now trying to trade back, but Warwick is doing the most damage he can. He is very, very fed, does have that Devourer built up. Zoe now trying to finish off the dead shot, not quite in. The fear is there, looking for the Paddle Star. Will he be able to land it?
Oh.
Not quite, but more sparkles. We'll get a little bit more damage in, and the invisibility should be able to get him to safety. But an ultimate under the tower, Lord Skippy does finish him off and get the kill. Now, actually, trade up in the top lane. I'm new to here, taking a lot of damage. Elevator Dunk trying to trade back, but I don't know that he wants to take this. A lot of damage coming through. The sapling will land. Poppy passive is ticking, trying to tank up as much as he can. Elevator Dunk ultimate comes out yet again, but I don't think he has the heal. Poppy ult is in as well, but
there
one more heal. Trying to finish this off, and doesn't even need the sapling. Elevator Dunk with the solo kill in the top lane.
Wow, that is exactly what happens when you have two tanks fighting. It's all a race of attrition there to see who can burn through whose heals and shields quickly enough. But a nice turnaround there. I think he did he have red buff at the start of that fight?
I don't know. I would have to look at the replay in order to figure that out, but certainly...
Because if he did not have red buff at the start of that fight, then that was a very nice turnaround on his part to be able to take that trade and actually kill. A solo kill on Poppy is a big deal in the top lane, when it means you can start really pushing out that lane and getting damage down on, and start reversing sort of...
Actually, Ignite onto Whiting. He is going to survive it, but looks like there was a Sleepy Trouble Bubble under the tower. Takes a lot of damage from the Zoe Burst. Ignite goes through, but is able to just barely survive. Doesn't have the Archangel Staff finished yet, but Ignite damage not quite enough.
I would just like to...
Actually, Shaco in the mid lane, ton of damage down. Sleepy Trouble Bubble, not gonna proc fast enough to get him to safety. And now, trying to make a play here onto the blue team. They are going to be onto Rakan. He's going to Rakambo in instead of out. And now Zaya is here as well, trying to trade the damage back onto the Kai'Sa. Featherstorm and Blade Caller will be enough to secure the kill. And now trying to trade back on the Nautilus, but should be able to walk out of there. No problem. Blue team, again, finding the opportunities to trade back.
Yeah, both of these teams have just been so good at finding when your opponent is overextending and punishing them for it. As I say, as Poppy punishes Elevator Dunk, but actually gets punished herself here in this top lane.
Yeah, taking a decent chunk of damage back. Lord Skippy is up here as well, but I don't know that they have the damage to deal with a Poppy. The Fear will be in. The Red Smite will be down. A flash away, but Nautilus was there as well. Lord Skippy finishing off the kill. Great W from the Nautilus.
That's tilting for sure. When you get snared like that after the flash. Bit of a misplay there on the side of Poppy, and it looks like they're rotating for Rift Herald here. Finally going to break this tower stalemate that's been going on for quite some time by picking up this Rift Herald. We'll see if they manage to take it.
So Herald starting up for the blue team, obviously to answer the Drake that was secured on the side of the red team by Deadshot. Picking up the early Cloud Drake does give his team a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more movement speed to rotate around and get those plays.
And movement speed is going to be key in this game if it keeps going the way it has been with just these bloody fights where they've been so good at responding to each other's aggression, and I think this will be the tower going down
this should be
here.
first tower blood here. Blue team will be able to finish that off. Tower gold actually goes over to Rakan, but can't be too disappointed with it. And Deadshot actually potentially looking for a play here. Does not go for the deceive in. Lord Skippy, though, really going in. A flash in from both of them trying to get onto White Team. The Fear will come backwards, and he will go down. Zoe Portal jumping under the secondary tower here. And a very ballsy play, but one that paid off for Blue Team yet again.
Yeah, I was seeing him going for that and saying that there's no way that works, but they just have the damage at this point, and Ryze's build is so damagey that he actually just can't survive that much burst by himself.
Oh, actually, Sleepy Trouble will land. Will fall asleep. Damage comes in. Ultimate is there, but he does able to get the ultimate off. Lord Skippy will be able to finish off the kill, but Ignite is ticking. Poppy is there. Might try to get the stun here if he can find the positioning for it. Warwick, though, trying to get back to safety. A flash in, actually, from Elevator Dunk. Flashes as well from the Kaisa. Use the ultimate to get back to safety. Rakambo is trying to get in. Does get the charm, but there isn't damage to follow up. Zoe not quite close enough and will get under the safety of the tower. Still trying to flash in, get the more damage in. Tysus will be knocked backwards. Focus onto the Nautilus, but not quite enough. Knockup is in as well. Rakan is back out. A shutdown is finished off. Poppy is able to find the kill there. Zaya now trying to kite backwards. Elevator Dunk coming to the rescue. The root lands. Poppy might have bitten off more than she can shoot as the reinforcements have shown up. Knockup will not quite land. A tackle in, but it's not going to be enough. And Kamanyat will take the kill. And now Ryze trying to finish off the low health team members, but they are under their own tower. Featherstorm actually comes out. Zaya using that aggressively, but gets nothing for it.
Wow, that was ended up being a 2 for 2 if you count the Shaco kill at the very beginning, but it might be more.
2 for 2, but they are going to try and make the trade under the tower. The Plasma will miss, and Nautilus takes a lot of damage under the tower. They try to siege up in the mid lane, but maybe bit off a little more than they can chew.
And the biggest issue there for Blue Team could have had that fight. Oh, still fishing for those hooks there. Blue Team could have had that fight, but the problem was the Maokai and the Rakan can reach so far. They actually left Zaya behind, so they landed all their CC and had no actual damage to get onto the Kaisa. So Kaisa was able to survive the fight, deal a lot more damage back on them. Blue Team was forced to retreat. Poppy's there behind, and while they do end up killing the Poppy, they end up losing their Zoe for it. There goes their wave clear, and they might actually lose this turret in the top lane.
Yeah, actually, Deadshot trying to go for the aggressive play. Assumed the tower would die faster than it did. Deadshot, though, gets the ultimate prediction while in stealth. Feels bad, but that will be a kill pick for Lord Skippy. Very good prediction.
Yeah, that was a nice play coming out there from Zoe. And just a big overextension there. When you play on... a lot of Shaco players tend to get pretty aggressive when they play the champion because they do have Deceive and they have so many options for how to get out. But when you've got a Warwick there with a suppression, not point and click anymore, but a suppression nonetheless, it just makes it so much harder to play.
The tower will fall down. Poppy up in the top lane. A lot of armor on this Poppy. Tower damage almost doesn't matter. Flash burn trying to run away. Lots of minions here too. Super Yoshi trying to clean out the wave. The Q will miss from Poppy. Will not get the Blade Caller in time. And now Lord Skippy will be here to finish off the kill on the Poppy. Does get the dive, but stalls long enough in order for reinforcements to arrive. And now actually a hook back on the Maokai. He's not quite tanky enough. He will be falling down. Too much magic damage, and the mid tower will be traded back.
And that was a rotational misplay on the part of Blue Team. All three of them left to go top lane just to deal with Poppy. And not only do you not need to do that, but
Rakambo is in, damage is down, and is still going. The quickness will be enough to lock up both of the team members. Ignite is in as well. Shaco trying to make the play. The slow is in, but Lord Skippy has a lot of movement speed from that Blood Hunt. We'll be able to finish him off for a double kill. The Shaco not able to do enough for his team.
Wow, a beautiful play there from Rakan. I actually want to put a spotlight on this Rakan here for a second because he has made some sick plays using his dash and his knockups in this game, and that he was able to knock up the Nautilus and then use a dash and his ultimate to secure the CC onto the two carries currently fleeing. just a beautiful play.
Yeah, and they will be trying to make a play here on the Lord Skippy as well, but the Unstoppable comes in. Knockup will not quite land because of the fear. Deadshot taking a lot of damage, but that's the clone. They don't know it, though. The Rakan trying to run away. Zoe trying to get the damage down, but is low mana. Nautilus does get the disruption. One more Grand Entrance might get him to safety. Poppy will still be trying to chase. Zoe just not enough mana to keep fighting, but will be able to take the kill. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land. Poppy Ultimate will come through, and Zoe should fall. Meanwhile, though, Turret traded up on the top side.
Both of these teams have been so aggressive, and you can see it there with blue team trying so hard to, and red team going
Actually, they're going all the way under the tower onto the Nautilus. Rakan is there, but doesn't have the health to really help out. Ultimate burn from the Nautilus, but a lot of magic damage coming through. Kaisa will be able to finish off, but now Xayah has finally roamed down. Featherstorm comes through, but no roots landed, but we'll be able to finish off the Kaisa regardless. Poppy gets a tackle into the wall. Rakan doing the best to peel for his lover, but might not have the damage. But there's Lord Skippy in, and we'll be able to finish off the kill. Rakan surviving Fae Feathers procs just in time to keep him alive through the burn.
Like I was saying before they fought again, these teams are so aggressive, they almost don't even care about their defense.
Yeah, speaking of aggression, goes all the way under the Nautilus, hunts him down with Blood Hunt, finishes the kill. There is a turret traded, but the Drake will be spawning in the bottom lane to trade.
Up for that rise. I don't think he'll get there in time. No, he's going to back off there. But these teams have been so aggressive, they almost don't even care about their defense. It's all about trying to, they're trying to capitalize so hard on just, okay, we got the kill, keep it going, push, that they keep sort of doing the same thing to themselves. So they'll overextend and the other team will punish them, but then the other team overextends because they're trying to get as much as they possibly can out of it.
Unlucky the Shaco uses his ultimate, avoids the Warwick ultimate, but unfortunately, that was really unfortunate. Tried to go in on a ward, into a red trinket, so was seen immediately. Blue team were able to peel off and get the kill there. The Rise actually, Sleepy Trouble bubbled, but no route to follow up, and will be able to walk out.
Shaco just got very...
Actually, teleport in for the Poppy. They will be fighting here. Damage coming down onto the Zoe, but nothing else to come through. Stopwatch is burned. Meanwhile, Maokai in the back line trying to do what he can. Warwick in the back line, doing what he can. The damage will be able to come through on the Poppy. She's so very tanky, but should eventually fall down. And meanwhile, they managed to route them on the backside with the Warwick damage. A rampage now for Lord Skippy. Knock up under the tower, but they shouldn't follow that one up. The Nautilus trying to bring him back under tower, saying, no, you have to follow, but Rakan does have the mobility to get out, and blue team instead will rotate towards the mid lane.
And that was one, red team decided to take a 4v5 there, and they almost won it, which is always
Shaco goes
nice
in,
play.
gets the kill onto the 80 carry, but falls himself. That's not really what you want. They still have enough damage from the Warwick to be able to take this tower.
They do still have enough damage from this Warwick to be able to take the tower, but that's a play that you want to make when they move up on the secondary turret with their Xayah, and the rest of your team is there to capitalize on the enemy's confusion. Making the play when he did, while it does help slow down Blue's push, just giving up a kill for a kill is usually not the best decision, especially when that tower still falls.
Yeah. Deadshot definitely kill hunting this game, but that's been almost all the players in this game. So we have a look at the scoreboard. There's just been kills across the board. Lord Skippy actually 17-4, putting his team on his back. Does have that Devour or Blood Razor completed alongside the Titanic Hydra and the Deadman's Plate. So very, very strong Warwick here to play off of.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Not quite as tanky as he could be, but he is a Warwick. He is going to have a lot of healing. I'm new, trying to get in there. Wasn't able to do anything. But what I was trying to talk about earlier was just that these... I had a thing, and then I lost it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It happens to everybody. But this is actually going to be vision control around the Baron side now, setting up for the red team. They are clearing out Blue's vision. Blue able to sneak back in. Rakan getting that ward kill. Poppy, meanwhile, pushing on the top side. And both teams realizing that it will be the Baron on which this game will be decided. Blue actually moving forward, but Elevator going down to the bottom side does not have teleport available. And Poppy, meanwhile, might be looking for the flank here.
Poppy has been looking for the flanks all game, actually, and it's part of what has caused red team to come out poorly in a lot of these fights, is that they've been fighting much more split up than blue team has. And I'm not sure if that's because that's just how the fights have panned out, or if it was an
Bloom of Steel, actually, but Poppy, again, in too far, does get the ultimate knockback, but will pay with her life. Too much damage coming out of that Xayah with the Lord Dominic's Regards finish, and now Elevator Dunk walking all the way back up now that he's pushed out the bottom lane. Ultimately, a risky play for blue team that there, and then we get the Shaco is there, the Fear is in, and Kaisa will be jumping in, but the Ignite should be able to tick down onto Xayah, does not quite fall. Rakambo is in, but there's no follow-up quite yet until I Cook Noobs will be able to finish off the kill on the backside, and now Rise has gone all the way in, but he's out of position and will fall. A double kill now picked up for the Zoe. Lord Skippy trying to chase down onto the Nautilus, but as a very tanky Nautilus, the fear is in, should hold him in place. Red buff will not quite be enough, but blue team have decided, now we'd much rather have the Baron.
Wow, a 4 for 0 in that fight, and that's exactly what I was talking about, is that red team keeps looking for these picks, and they're fighting so separately, and blue team is staying together and keeping themselves safe, and by doing that, they just make it impossible for the Shaco and these Poppy flanks to actually do anything. And once again, talking about that Xayah pick, most ADCs are dead there. But with that in-targetability, avoiding some damage, Xayah was able to barely survive that Shaco fight and come back and help them finish off Baron. They don't get Baron if Xayah dies there.
Yeah, no, is fair. I'm new here. Actually, trying to trade back on the Lord Skippy here, but that is a very fed Warwick. I don't know if that's the kind of fight you want and should be able to walk out. But yeah, definitely
just establishing her turf there.
Yeah, establishing dominance.
Get out of here.
But definitely, I think, like you said, a very, very nice fight. But the Poppy is definitely going in too deep and kind of drawing the rest of the team into the split fight where they're saying, well, Poppy's in, we need to be there. But Poppy's already gone way too deep and won't be able to actually get the kill.
Poppy's in, not Poppy's out. Poppy might have learned her lesson this time.
Poppy might have learned her lesson. Did have Deadshot hanging around, but
don't
besides,
go for the blue when there's 4 enemy team members there.
Yeah, maybe not a good idea. Maybe not a good idea. But so with the 2-man push up in the top lane, blue does have reinforcements coming, but not quite yet. And Deadshot won't be trying to go in. This is the stun onto it, but the Rakambo should try to get him out. This is going to be the flash forced away. Warwick is in now as well. Rakambo running around. The Featherstorm, though, will get the root, but Poppy will be able to finish off the kill on the backside. And now Zoe, it will be on Zoe to carry the rest of the fight. Warwick and Maokai, though, are in. The ultimates are down. There's a tanky Poppy, but not tanky enough, and she will fall. And now blue team will be able to keep the push going, minus an AD carry.
Yeah, there's so much peel there from this Rakan and from this Zoe and this
They will actually go all the way under tower. Ultimate actually forced out of the Nautilus.
That it just makes it so difficult for them to actually get in and kill this Xayah, and they're dropping everything on killing this Xayah, and this time they actually managed to do it. Most of the fights they actually haven't been able to, but even when they were able to kill it, they're put themselves in such a poor position that blue team is able to finish off the fight. And speaking of blue team, they capitalized on that fight very well. It went from 2 of them top lane to all 5 members being in that top lane extremely quickly, and I don't think red team was prepared for it.
Yeah, now blue team, as all honesty, was pushed out way too far. They only had 2 members up there. Red team had a good collapse. You had the Poppy there, who obviously eats 80 carries for breakfast. You had the Shaco there to provide the follow-up, and yet they were able to keep the Xayah alive long enough that red team was sort of sucked into, again, one of these drawn-out engagements. So sure, they killed the Xayah, but they burned so much trying to do it that they weren't able to take the rest of the fight.
Well, and if you notice there, Xayah was stunned up there by 2 separate CCs. She was stunned there, and still managed to actually make it.
Looking for a fight here. Red team trying to break things up. This is going to be the knockback on the Warwick. He will not be there. The Rakambo is in, trying to get the damage in, but will fall. But buys enough time for the rest of his team to run away. A very nice Poppy ultimate separating the team. Very
nice Poppy ultimate there. Basically made it. Blue team did make the right play there. They said, hey, we can't actually make this fight work. Warwick's not there. They have an advantage on us, so we just got to back off here. But it was a great play on red team's part as well, with that awesome Poppy ultimate to get Warwick out of the fight.
Damage trying to go in there, trying to fight here. Xayah is trying to get the damage in, but Shaco looking on the backside. Maokai tanking it up, but I don't think he's tanky enough. Xayah doing a lot of damage. Plasma stacks are ticking up. This will be the tackle in, though. Poppy maybe a little too deep, goes under the tower. Warwick, though, in the middle of the fight, trying to get the damage down, but taking a little bit more than he can chew. Double kill picked up there for the Xayah. A triple kill picked up for the Xayah. Ultimately, a 3-for-2 trade in favor of blue team.
A really big fight there. That's
Warwick actually trying to run down Kaisa. She's running. Overcharger already used. Lord Skippy trying to get in. Does pop the E. Has the fear and will pick that up to go legendary.
Great capitalization there on Lord Skippy going, nah, I can run you down. You can't get out of this fight this easily. And that was a good fight.
Actually, sleep landed. This should be Rise falling down. He had the flash. He might have the damage traded back. Zani's hourglass is popped, and he should be able to run out of that. It's no problem. Portal jump will miss. Damage down from the Zoe, but not quite. And Warwick all the way from downtown. Infinite Duress finishes off the kill, and blue team still actually trying to push in. I don't know that they want to keep going for this, especially with the Shaco. Shaco is in. He's trying to look for the kill. The box placed behind. Xayah does not have the ultimate, but does get the Featherstorm anyways. Poppy, though, is in. Drowsy will come down. Rakan trying to peel for his 80 carry, and will be able to finish that off. Blue team now able to take advantage of those trickles and might just try to go for the game.
They are trying to go for the game here, but with Kaisa here, it might be more difficult than they expect it to be. Oh,
so
speaking
much
of
damage.
Kaisa,
One more tower shot lands, but not enough to take down the Zoe. Seeing that Zoe damage really coming through.
yeah, insane amount of damage coming out there from Zoe. And red team over there under the turret, what I think they're doing is that they are trying so hard to dive the Xayah, and they can't do it. They do not have the damage, and there's too much peel on blue team. And you need to realize that, and you need to start fighting your fights differently. You need to start warding up and trying to find enemy team members who are not in position and either pick them off, or you need to start trying to team fight front to back instead of doing these dives with your tanky members. Poppy can get on...
Oh, actually, hold on to Xayah. Xayah is locked up. Xayah is rooted ultimate by the Nautilus. Now Shaco is coming in, but does finally fall down to the rise. Warwick will be using his ultimate there, but it's not quite enough. He falls. Double kill now picked up for Fantasy, and Elevator Dunk now forced to run for his life. Poppy trying to chase him down. Realm Warp does come through, tries to turn back around onto the Poppy, but there's just nowhere for him to go. He should fall here, and it is ultimately 4 for 1 picked up.
Yeah, 4 for 1 there on the side of red team. Great fight on their part. If you notice there, Xayah got CC'd for so long and actually did manage to come out of it for a little bit, but Xayah had no flash, no ultimate. The past few fights had just stripped blue team of all of their abilities. To top it all off, a great engagement on the part of Nautilus there means that they just don't have an option to win that fight.
Yeah, Drowsy will land, trying to trade back, but that is a very, very tanky Poppy still.
Very tanky Poppy indeed, is able to take some turrets. And it's on red team to really start warding up and looking at Baron at this point. Because if they can manage to snag a Baron off of this next fight, they can probably end the game. Especially with that Shaco on their team.
Yeah, no, Shaco kind of showing his value there. As long as you have the Nautilus going in, landing the damage onto the Xayah, getting the crowd control on the Xayah, you can afford to go in as Shaco, get that kill, because at this point, you're not worth that much, but you are definitely worth way more, or way less than the Xayah.
Well, and not only was that last fight of 4v5, but red team was fighting as a team there. They actually said, hey, we're going to group up, we're going to fight together, and we're going to not overextend, and we're going to make this happen. And look at that, they were able to win the fight.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This next fight is going to be a big one. They're warding up for this Baron right now. Nautilus backing there. We'll see if he can get back in time.
Nautilus and Poppy. Poppy does not have the teleport. Did burn it to get the tower up in the top lane earlier. Lots of vision down, though, for red team, so they should have an advantage working around in this Baron area, though obviously you do have Sapperlings to be able to check out if you're Nautilus. And that's a very, very fed Kaisa as well. Will be doing a lot of damage in these team fights if they're not able to focus her down. Does have the Rage Blade, Gnasher's Tooth, and a Rabadon's Death Cap actually built up. So maximizing magic damage here, and especially it'll help you burn through that Maokai, who's mostly armor at this point. Warwick, mostly armor. They don't necessarily have the damage to, or the durability to get through the Kaisa Plasma procs.
Yeah, do you feel like that's a mistake? Because I feel like that's kind of a mistake when you have this much magic damage on the enemy team.
Actually, blue team have started this up. This might be risky. Realm Warp does come through. Rise will be able to get onto the Zoe. Zani should be burned, is able to use that, but should be falling at the end of the day. They are still on the Baron, but they are forced to turn. Rakan running around, getting the quickness down onto everybody. Poppy now diving on the backside. There was the lock up, and now Shaco around on the backside again. Xayah trying to kite back, peel back. Shaco is in. The Ignite is down, and Xayah should be falling. Warwick, though, cleaning up on the backside. Super Yoshi forced to flash away, and now they're really trying to fight back. Warwick, though, doing so much work, and they are able to finish off that fight. Very, very nicely done, considering the fact that they were engaged on.
Yeah, Xayah just will not die. They are dropping so much to try and kill the Xayah, and they just can't do it. And additionally, blue team even made a big mistake there by trying to get that Baron for a really long time. Zoe got engaged on, and they were still staying on that Baron until after Zoe died. But it just didn't matter because red team is just trying... that fight was very split with a lot of them trying to get damage down Warwick. This is going to be the end of the game.
Towers will be falling here. This should be the end of the game. Too many kills given up on the side of red team, and this should be finished off. Blue team will be taking home the victory.
Yeah, and just all around a better performance on the part of blue team. They really had the team and the skills to make that victory happen.
Now, and I think the biggest thing, though, is in all honesty, blue team sort of had a third carry in the form of that Warwick. Lord Skippy in that last team fight was doing so much damage, getting the kills. The Zoe was down and the Xayah was getting focused, the Xayah was getting run down, but it doesn't matter because you have the Warwick finishing off the back line, running back to help the rest of his team, and basically getting the majority of those frags, and you can see in the scoreline 22-5, definitely putting the team on his back there.
He's definitely play of the game. This game was effective early game, mid game, late game. He showed his worth throughout the entire game. So good on you, Lord Skippy.
Yeah, very nicely done. And I think Red Team just ended up going too deep for these fights, like you were saying. They tried continually diving in. They didn't have their team available to follow up. Obviously, the Kai'Sa can dash in, but that's not really how you want to be using that ultimate because it just puts you in such a bad spot. And Blue Team very nicely saying, no, we're going to group up. We're going to play as a team. The second you try to dive our carries, we're going to be on top of you and finish that off. So very nicely done. That is going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. Go ahead and let us know what you guys thought of the cast down in the comment section below, and enjoy your evening.